Oral performance has always been a part of African American life and a viable and valuable part of the transmission of the core ideas of the culture and resistance to oppression. Oral tradition goes well back to slavery, but in the 19th century, it's the work song. It is the blues man. And coming into the 20th century, it is the song that people sing on the chain gang. All these oral performances, what I would call oral performances, allowed blacks to express themselves when no other expression was necessary. And so within the African American folk tradition, there's a long tradition of oral performances in music, but there's also, beginning in the 20s, a new kind of African American vernacular. I call it the verbal arts, or people call it the verbal arts. And that is a sense that one had to be skillful, one had to be quick-witted, one had to be able to adapt to your circumstances. In fact, master your circumstances in words. And so you have the ritual of exchange of insults, like the dozens. You have the more subtle way of saying something that we would call signifying. You have the long extended narrative poems that are called toasts. Things like Signifying Monkey, that starts out deep down in the jungle where the coconut grove lived, the signifying monkey, and some folks you might know. Now, everything was quiet in the jungle for a spell when the monkey decides he's going to raise some hell. And that toast tells a fundamental story of the African American trickster. The toast tradition is an important one because it is an oral performance. It is a form of rhyme. It is in rhyme couplets, so it's a form of poetry. And it morphs in the 1960s, or it sets an aesthetic in the 1960s for oral political performance poets, people like Gil Scott-Heron and obviously the Last Poets and the like. So this oral tradition has always been a part of African American expression, and it connects deeply to the rhythms and the roots of everyday life, and it therefore is able to speak deeply to everyday life and everyday needs.